Happy Monday. I have a beautiful story, and this one is really beautiful because it shows you how the universe will often communicate with you through signs just when you need them the most. I hope you enjoy the story. When Emily Weichman was 7 months old, she had a stroke. Although the episode had never been repeated, Emily was still delicate, and her mother, Marlene, watched her carefully for signs of illness or distress. Everyone was concerned about her. One September, Marlene, her husband, and Emily, when she was 5 years old, decided to accompany Marlene's parents to Seattle to visit relatives. On the way home, they stayed overnight at a campsite in Yellowstone National Park. The following morning, Emily seemed lethargic, and after they got on the road, she quickly fell asleep. The family was driving through an empty stretch of Wyoming when Emily woke abruptly. "Mommy," she said, "I'm sick." Marlene looked at her daughter. Emily's eyes seemed out of focus. Marlene's father stopped the RV. She was conscious and apparently aware, but Marlene, a teacher, had epileptic students, and she felt a chill of apprehension. Emily's symptoms seemed familiar. "Dad," she said, "we got to get Emily to a hospital fast." The nearest town, Rock Springs, was more than 60 miles away. Marlene's father sped off, and everyone began to pray. They drove 20 miles to the left. Emily seemed to be fading. Everyone kept praying, but as they approached Rock Springs, they could see that the town below was far larger than they had anticipated. There would be certainly a hospital there, but how would they find it? This was before the era of cell phones and the convenience of GPS. They would waste precious time looking, and Emily was unconscious by now. "Lord," prayed Marlene, as she held her daughter tightly, "we need to find a doctor fast." Just as they approached an interstate highway, everyone saw a blue marker with a white H on it, a hospital sign. Thank God, they thought. Soon they saw another. At least 4 signs guided them as a trail which Marlene's father followed till they found the hospital. An emergency physician diagnosed Emily's condition as a case of mild epileptic seizure, did a CAT scan, and quickly stabilized her with an anticonvulsant drug. Only afterwards, as Emily rested safely in her room, did Marlene feel the full impact of the crisis. "If it weren't for those hospital signs," Marlene told the physician, "we would still be driving around." The doctor looked at her curiously. "What signs?" he asked. "The ones lining our route," Marlene explained. "They were literally a lifesaver. We would not have been able to find a hospital on time if it wasn't for them." The doctor was perplexed. "I live 8 miles out that very road. I travel it every day on the way here," he told her, "and I have never seen a hospital sign." Marlene didn't know what to think. All 4 adults in the van had seen the markers. Afterwards, her father and her husband were now at a gas station that they had passed on their way there. When they returned late because they had gotten lost. Marlene asked them what had happened. They said, "We were counting on those blue and white signs to guide us, but they were gone." What do you think? Coincidence or miracle? Could it be that this family was so desperate that they saw what they wanted to see? Or could it be that indeed the universe sent those signs to guide and protect them? You decide. And given that today is Monday, the first day of the week, let that be your theme. Every day this week, open yourself up to the possibility that there may be signs waiting for you to notice them, that they're trying to guide and protect you. Signs come in all kinds of ways. It could be a number that you constantly see, show up in your life. If you have a question to a problem, you may get the answer in a song that you hear, or you're watching a movie and suddenly someone says something. Well, that's the universe communicating with you, because she will find every conceivable way to get the message to you. Sometimes it could be a stranger on the street and you happen to be talking to them and they'll say something and boom, that's the answer you needed. Or a friend that you haven't seen in a long time and happens to call and helps you. So stay open to all the possible ways in which your life is being guided right now. Just the other day, I had an experience. The number 13 is my number. It has followed me my entire life, and obviously it's always accompanied by something good. So over the years, I've realized that is how the universe is winking at me, telling me that, hey, it's okay, you're going the right way, you're making the right decision. So I went to London, Ontario to drop off my daughter to university, and she's rented this house with 4 other girls, and I helped her set up her room. And when I was ready to leave, I felt like crying, but because she was so happy, I didn't want to ruin her moment. So as I'm walking towards the car, my eyes are swelled with tears, and I am speaking to the universe, obviously in my own head. But I said to her, okay, you have to take over, because I'm not gonna be around to protect her every day. So now it's your turn. And the minute I finished saying that in my mind, my younger daughter, who also came along to drop off her sister, said, Mommy, look at the house number. And I looked up and it was 1102. And here's the weird thing. I had been to the house 3 previous times in the summer to check it out, to drop off stuff, to set up her furniture, and I never realized that the number equaled 13. And that's what happens a lot in our lives. The signs are always there, but we see them only when we are ready to see them. And at that moment, I knew in my heart that was the universe immediately reassuring me, hey, I got this. And I just smiled, looked up at the sky and said, thank you. So stay open. See what ways the universe is using to communicate with you. I will see you next Monday with another wonderful story. So don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and forward this video to as many people as possible and help me grow. In the meantime, stay safe, stay grateful, and I'm going to leave you with the words of Max Planck, quantum physicist, who says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I'll see you next week.